to now.
From Maricopa County's Tent City in Arizona, it's Politically Incorrect with Bill Maher. Scared Correct. And now, your host, Bill Maher. Bill's guest tonight, actor and comedian David Spade. TV host, Judge Greg Mathis. Inmate, Freddie Mendez. And inmate, Shill.
Nothing like a captive audience. Thank you, guys. I want to thank Sheriff Joe for his hospitality, having us here. We have been really treated royalty. We got a great reception at the airport. We have a tour of the facilities. And late this afternoon, someone made me their bitch. So it's really been very... I know I don't look so tough, but I want to tell you guys, I spent my share of time among the dregs of society dealing with some amoral dirtbags that just as soon stab you in the back as look you in the eye. But enough about Hollywood. No, actually, we have been planning for months to come here to the prison, you know, there's always something you overlook. I tell you, I don't know how this happened, but before I came here, I forgot to sharpen my toothbrush. I kid about that, of course, but actually today I saw a guy sharpening the slats from under his cot, fashioning it into a knife, not to kill anybody, just to cut the pudding. Because the food here is just terrible. I mean, tell them what you get every day. Green bologna. That's what they get. They serve green bologna. In fact, you've heard of the Sheriff of Nottingham? Sheriff Joe is known as the Sheriff of Rottingham. Hey! Panel at the ripe old age of 16. He's been committing violent felonies for 8 years. This is his 61st time in jail. This time for armed home invasion, but he wants to be a marine biologist when he grows up. Freddie Mendez. Freddie, hey. Freddie, how you doing, sir? You sit right over there. All right, she's a 17-year-old cheerleader and straight-A student from right here in Arizona who was convicted of conspiracy to commit aggravated assault with a baseball bat. Shill. Cindy! How you doing, young lady? Sit right over there. He is a Superior Court judge from the state of Michigan and the host of his very own show, the Judge Mathis Show. Judge Greg Mathis. Judge. And an Arizona native, one of the hilarious stars of Just Shoot Me in the films Lost and Found and Tommy Boy, a great big movie star, David Spade, has come to the prison. Dave, how are you? Thank you for coming. Okay.
People,
Thank you.
they look innocent to me.
You're getting on their good side, aren't you?
They look great.
Okay. Well, this is our juvenile show we're going to do here at the Maricopa County facility. We thought we would invite two of the juvenile offenders on. You're 16, you're 17. This is your first time in, right? Freddie? Yeah. 61 times.
Freddie.
You've been arrested.
That's a pattern.
I mean... And they say kids lack ambition, but
most of the times I've been here is not like you say 61 times, like months and months at a time. It's not like that. It's just like, you know, for a day and let me go. You know, this is like one of the longest sentences I'm gonna do here.
But Freddie, you got pinched 61 times before you were 17.
Yeah.
What would you say to a judge like the judge here to convince him that there's not going to be number 62? Because I know you've made a deal where at number 62 you go to the real prison.
And how many times have you said that?
Well, now it's not. I'm not saying it. It's like now or never. Now, you know.
How many times have you said now and never?
Every 61 times.
Right. So what's it going to take? What's it going to take for you to straighten out?
It took this, you know, 3.5 years, and you know, I signed a DLC agreement now, so it's not like
You been behind the wall 3.5 years?
No, I signed a DLC agreement this time.
Okay.
The big trend in America nowadays, because there is so much juvenile crime, is to treat juveniles as adults in the criminal justice system. Now, you have to give me a reason why we shouldn't do that, because kids grow up a lot faster and they do criminal crimes as teenagers.
Yeah.
So why shouldn't we treat them as adults?
I'll tell you why. You shouldn't sentence them as adults, because once they get to adult prison, you're going to hook up with some of these big, strong guys here who are sicker, slicker, and meaner, and they're going to come back out to society and prey on our citizens in a much meaner way than they were when they went in. In other words, Freddie may have been a petty criminal now, but if we send him to adult prison with these big, strong, wise guys, he's going to come back out a lot tougher.
Yeah, hey, that's
a lot meaner.
Well, Judge, there's nothing petty about Freddie's crime.
Yeah, that's all true. That's all true and everything. But
Well, I haven't heard his crimes, but
Yeah,
you try to stop him from telling us, but go ahead.
Well, you want to tell some of your more illustrious deeds, Freddie?
no, I'm in here for home invasion.
Home invasion.
That's not petty, going in on someone while folks are in their home.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's not petty at all.
If you're a murderer, if you're a rapist, if you're a molester or whatever, you should get adult time because you did the adult crime. But I think girls come in here, I've been in here over a year, I think girls come in here for resisting arrest, I think girls come in here just because they fought ex-boyfriend's girlfriend and all this. And if you do that petty crime, you should be tried as a juvenile. And if we're in the adult system, we get treated like crap.
Now, your story is a little different than Freddie's. This is your first time, and you contend that it was just a case of you being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yes.
The prosecutor says differently. Well, that's why you're here, honey.
What prosecutor?
I didn't put you here.
Well, the prosecutor needs to get his words straight because he wasn't there at the scene of the crime. He's just taking it from the victim. The only thing they do is take the victim's side. They weren't there. They weren't there 99.7 feet away from the crime. I wasn't even at the crime scene.
You were accessory? Is that
Yeah,
what happened?
well,
So you didn't actually do it?
Her boyfriend at the time hit a guy over the head with a baseball bat.
Right. That's still against the law, right?
Yeah. And the prosecutor says that Cindy lured that guy to the house and so therefore was an accessory to the crime.
Cindy?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I had nothing to do with it. I was just there getting ready to go to a party.
Yeah. So why do you think they came down so hard on a middle-class white kid like you?
Because they're jealous.
What was it about you think they resented?
Because I was a female. They stuck up for the prosecutor and everybody was a male and I was the only female and the judge stuck up for them, the prosecutor stuck up for them, all the males that were in my case.
So do you take any credit for being here?
I was at the wrong place, wrong time. I should have been more mature to pick my friends more wisely, my boyfriends more wisely. I'm wrong there, but I shouldn't be taken away from my high school. I shouldn't be taken away from my family because I didn't do anything. If they want to charge me, they should have charged me as a juvenile. It's my first offense. I didn't do crap.
It is pretty wild that she would be in here with some people that have done some things that are pretty harsh. I mean, she's the first time, she's an accessory. There's a lot of stuff about it. I mean, it's either the whole system's one way or it isn't. It's hard to go through each person and figure it out, but it seems a little excessive.
Can we look on the bright side? Have you made some good, nice friends here?
I didn't come to jail to make friends. I came to jail to do my time.
Yeah. All right, I would say the same thing. We have to take a break. County facility. This is our juvenile show. We're talking with 16-year-old Freddie, right? 17-year-old Cindy. Now, I can't imagine at this age being in such a facility. I don't know how you do it. I don't know if I could last in this place. Do you think you could, Dave? Do you think you could last in a jail when you were 16?
Well, even today, I'm telling you, I just got my house remodeled, and they put me in a rental that was only 3,500 square feet. I felt like a cage rat.
That is
No, I couldn't handle it then. I couldn't handle it now. Look, they're tough. They're tougher than me, but then again, I got to go by the law because I know if anything happens, I'm dust in here. I go for 2 packs and I'm passed around. No, it's all cute and fun on this side, but
yeah. I mean, it's true. We can make jokes about it, but it's not funny when you're on the inside. I mean, I have a lot of questions that when I was in the hotel room today, I was cutting my nails. My nails were long, and I thought, you know, you can't get anything in prison like a scissor. How do you cut your nails in prison?
As females get nail clippers.
use the buddy system.
No, I don't think so.
I wasn't in prison, but I was in jail at age 17.
Really?
For several months, and it was my last encounter with the law until I decided to get my GED, which I hope you two get, or something, diploma or something, and move ahead. But in any event, my first 2 weeks there, got into at least 5 fights, all with adults. The next 2 weeks after I proved that I had the strength and the courage to fight back and adopted to the jail culture, next thing, the tough, hardened criminals were teaching me all the new tricks of the game so that when I got out of prison, I could become a better hustler than I was when I came in. And that's why I'm saying I'm against putting young people in.
And it worked. You're a judge.
No.
I kid.
But that's why I'm against putting them in with older adult prisoners, because they're going to learn all those old tricks from those.
Well, when you say you got into 5 fights, now what was the cause of that? Were they trying to take advantage of you?
Cigarettes one time, another time they wanted to take my Twinkies, another time they wanted to get in between my Twinkies, another time there's a variety of things. And the whole deal was I was a young kid, and everybody else, their average age was 25, 30 years old.
Right. Have you found that that's the case? Were you do you have untoward sexual tales to tell us?
No.
No. I can admit, yeah, there's some bisexual girls in there, and I seen them dyke out and everything. But I ain't down for that freaky crap.
Yeah, but I got to tell you, Dave and I love to watch it.
I'm down.
Yeah. I've seen Chained Heat 2 31 times.
You want me to send you two guys to some time tonight or something? To spend with the ladies?
What about, is there any way that this can be a positive experience? Is there anything good?
Getting anything out of this? Sir?
I am. Yeah. I don't know about her, but I'm in the process of getting my GED now, and I graduated the 7th.
That drives the ladies wild, that GED.
I've graduated a substance abuse program because through my time in here, through my time in the adult system, I've learned that the reason that I came here is because of drugs. There's no other reason I can think of.
Right.
And so I got help with it.
What about, are there any special days? Do they do anything for Christmas? What about your birthday? Do you get an extra slice of green bologna, or what goes on in your, have you passed a birthday in here?
Yeah, I just had a birthday January 17th.
What happens on your birthday?
For my birthday, I got transferred, and I wasn't allowed to have my visit because it didn't happen to be a visiting day on my birthday here.
So nobody did anything for you?
The girls there made a big old banner, and we were getting pancake Lunchables for about 2 weeks straight. And so they made me pancakes for breakfast.
Well, I know Sheriff Joe insists he makes the toughest pancakes in America.
Yeah.
Rotten.
What do you miss the most, you guys?
About the outside?
What do you miss the most? If you had to say one.
Family.
What is it?
Family.
Family.
I miss my dad and my brother. I will go home. If they let me go home right this second, I'd go home in these stripes, I'd go home in these shoes, and I'd go home with the food that they feed me here as long as I could be home with my family.
Did you still hang with the same crowd?
Yeah.
How about you? Did you still hang with the same crowd?
That's a good question.
Nah.
The overwhelming majority of people are in jail because of the crowd they ran with. Peer pressure is the #1 influence in most young adults' lives.
Yeah, that's all nice and true, but you can't blame anything on. You can't blame it on that. Everything's your decision in life. You know, everything's your decision.
Now, Freddie, did you run with the wrong crowd, or did that crowd run with you?
Like,
because I mean, 61 times. I'm thinking you might have been the ringleader.
Well, I lived in Las Vegas for a while, and then I came here.
Las Vegas?
Yeah, I lived in Vegas.
Dave.
I was not the runner with the wrong
I mean,
crowd.
come on. Even we've gotten into trouble in Las Vegas.
So you weren't running with the wrong crowd.
I wasn't running with the wrong crowd. I was with the jocks. I was straight A student.
The jocks?
Yeah.
That's the
I
wrong
run
crowd?
varsity
Who
track.
beat the guy with the baseball bat that they're accusing you of accessory to?
My ex-boyfriend.
And he was
that's
a straight
I
A
admitted
student
that.
as well?
And you know what,
No,
Judge? He wasn't even on the baseball team. That's what I think is completely inappropriate, is that he was football and soccer, so it wasn't even his sport.
I admitted that I
But was he a troubled kid? That's the question. Was he in the trouble regularly?
to a point.
It's taking you too long to think about it.
To a point, yeah, he was a troubled little kid. He did alcohol and he did marijuana.
Well, you were hanging with the wrong crowd. That's
I
the point,
wasn't hanging with him 24/7 because my dad hated him and I didn't hang with him 24/7.
Girls like bad boys, okay? We gotta take a break.
Join us tomorrow from Maricopa County Jail when our guests will be actor Mike Farrell, actor and comedian Daryl Mitchell, detention officer Maria Martinez, and inmate Ruben Becerra.
All right, we're back here at Maricopa with our prisoner audience and our juveniles here today. Let me ask you about this because this is especially pertinent to the females and to those your age because, listen to this, a woman gives birth in prison once every 6 hours. That's a lot of babies being born in prison, and of course the new trend in the last few years is to allow the woman to have her baby in prison. They do not want to separate, in many states, the mother from the child. Now, it doesn't seem to me like, under any circumstance, a prison is a place to have a child of any age. What do you think? Yeah.
Can I think?
Yeah.
It's I think that's a tough call, but I think, to be serious for a second, I think a kid being with its mother for the beginning is more important than its surroundings.
Really?
Than being in prison. Yeah, that's my opinion. I don't.
On the other hand, though, Bill, prison is intended to punish and rehabilitate. Unfortunately, they're not doing much of that, but it's intended to punish people. So if you're punishing the mother and the child is there with it, wouldn't the child end up being punished as well?
That's what I would say.
I think that if for 4 to 6 months, I think if they put pregnant women in a different facility, it's locked down. I mean, so the baby can get its nutrients, the mother can get its nutrients, and they can have quality time for 4 to 6 months, and then the baby get put into a family member or wherever it goes. I think that the mother and the child should be together.
But they say that a child in that early period of life really has a memory for everything, that a lot of the personality is formed in the first couple of years. Now, what happens when that child's first formative years are in a prison? Aren't you putting the baby in prison too?
I think a kid being with his mom is super important. If it's allowed to be with his mom because of the law, that's another question, but I think it's really important. I don't think the surroundings would be that horrible for it. I don't know.
Well, clearly you can't raise them in prison up to age 12, 15, 18. So at some point they're going to be detached from their parent anyhow. And isn't that going to create some emotional hardship and some of the things that happen when you detach children from their parents? I'm not going to arrest you. You don't have to agree with me. Go ahead,
Freddie, how about you? You've got 61 convictions. You must have knocked up your share.
Yeah.
I mean, my God, with his record.
I personally hasn't been locked up with somebody who has a baby in prison. So. But I don't think it's right.
And what about if a baby commits a violent crime? How should we handle that, Judge? Should
We have that case in Michigan, a 6-year-old, of course, that took the gun to school and killed a person. Of course, a 6-year-old cannot formulate the necessary intent to kill anyone or to commit a crime at all. But the main thing this country is overlooking is that they are continuously throwing people in jail and throwing away the key instead of rehabilitating people, educating them, etc. 80% of the people who go into prison, they go into prison without a high school education. Over half of them come out of prison once again without a high school education. They're not rehabilitated, and they prey on us again because they come out the same way they went in.
You guys all want us to come out different and everything, but when you put us in adult, and I'm not disagreeing with you, but when you put us in adult places, we see the adults every day. Oh, that, oh, look at that little hoe. What are we're supposed to come out acting different?
No, I wouldn't put you in adult prison, as you heard.
Same thing if you're hanging around with rap artists. All right, we have to take another break. We'll be right back. Say, applaud if you're in here unjustly, if you think you're innocent. Drinks and dancing. See you tomorrow night.
Nobody go anywhere.